What is up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. The birds are singing. It feels like spring because it is spring. Feeling that zippity doo dah day this morning. Good morning. Oh no, here comes the babies. I don't have their bottles. Oh, no, 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 no. Stop, 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 stop. Stop. I don't have them. I gotta go milk first. I gotta go milk. Miriam, come on, let's go get that milk so these babies can have some breakfast. You know, I'm always trying to balance the camera angles while milking to, you know, give you a pretty good view without it being like a total vulva shot. They don't feel exploited. I asked. Oh, I love springtime, guys. It's so beautiful, so enjoyable. Everything just feels so alive. Every morning I wake up and come out, and although the days are so full with so much to do, just so much promise. The thing I love about spring is that in a lot of cases you are reaping the investments that you made earlier, like milking all the goats. You know, that took coordinating breeding in the fall and, you know, going through all of the birthing in the late winter, and then you get to just milk the goats and feed the babies and enjoy that. And right now is all of the hard work of getting the garden put in and all of that, and just knowing that there's this season of so much abundance right around the corner. Oh, she's got to lick the bowl. So guys, look at these little baddies. The chicks started jumping out of the tub, so we just set them up in here where they can wander around this whole stall. And it's going all right. Stays a little cleaner this way. Hey girls. So Nestle and Mayhem are not in milk, but they come to the milk stall every morning to just see if I want to let them in, feed them. I don't, but you know, they're just checking. Right, ladies? Nestle and Mayhem were two of my first goats. I had Maggie and Miriam first, and then I got a group of goats that we got in a trade, and these two were the part of that group. Mayhem was the first goat to ever kid on my farm. It was February 18th, and I have no idea why I remember that it was February 18th, because that has been like 4 years ago now. And she was not supposed to be kidding until May, but she'd broken out and got in with a buck at the home that I got her from. We got them from a local breeder. We traded some work for this herd of bred goats, and I knew nothing about kidding. And in retrospect, I think it was kind of sweet that it happened that way, because I would have worried myself to death coming up on our first kidding, you know, feeling so unprepared and like overthinking everything. But I just came out. We actually had some friends over, and we were having a bonfire that night. We were having a bunch of friends come over for a bonfire, and we had some friends staying with us from out of town. And I went out and I was like, something's not right here. Her udder is massive. And I was thinking, is this normal? She's had not kidding for 3 more months. And I, of course now I know, if I ever see that, I know it's like go time. But I called my cousin Amy. I sent her a picture, and she'd had goats. Actually, Anna was born on her farm here, and she had experienced kidding. And I sent her a picture and called her and said, hey, is this normal? And she was like, oh no honey, she's about to have babies. And I was like, what? She's like, I'm coming. So she came up. We didn't have a stall. This barn was all open, and actually Maya and some of his brothers, they threw this stall up just like as she was giving birth out in the yard. And it sucked because they're over here like with power tools putting the stall up, but we were just trying to get somewhere to isolate her with the baby. And she did. She gave birth to a little doeling out in the yard, and we put her in the stall. And that night, while we had the bonfire, I just could not pull myself away. We had all these friends over and I kept like sneaking away and sitting out here in the stall with Mayhem and her baby. Now, as the years have gone by, like some of my memory of things has gotten a little bit blurred. Like I can't exactly tell you what years everything has happened, but I still can remember all my does. Like I can remember their kidding history. Like I remember what they've had. Like I know them pretty well. It's funny because goats are, they have such distinct personalities. They're very dog-like in their personalities. Now, mine are super affectionate. Most of my goats are super affectionate. And the ones that I've had for a long time, I'm quite attached to. I have a couple that I'm not super attached to, just because we haven't been through a lot. But the ones who've kidded 3-4 times on my farm and I've milked, you know, I've spent a lot of time with those goats. Hands-on, literally. Look at these little girls. Have we spent hands-on time, ladies? Quite a lot. These two are my back pocket goats. We've spent a lot of time together. And so they, as soon as I come out, they come and start rubbing up on me. Are we friends like that? I do have people ask me fairly often, like, how do you get your animals so friendly? And any animals, I mean, the ticket is feed them and handle them. They remember where their meals come from. Ah. Why do I ever try to put on cute clothes before I go outside? I end up with hoof prints on my pants every time. Oh goodness, guys, it has begun. One rose is open and I can see probably 150 buds on my rose bush. That is gonna be glorious. I know every single vlog, like for the last week, I've been talking about how excited I am for the roses, but I'm really just that excited for the roses. Last night was the first night for my tomato plants to spend the night outside. I have a video explaining my process of hardening off plants. So if you start plants inside in a controlled environment like a greenhouse or inside your house under grow lights, you can't just take them and put them directly outside when you're ready to plant them. They need to be introduced to the full capacity of the sun over the course of like a week in smaller but slowly increasing increments. And what I usually do towards the end of that process is that I put them out in the evening and let them stay out all evening, and then they stay out overnight, and then they stay out for a couple hours in the morning. Now it's about 8:30 right now, and they could be out here for a little bit longer, but I'm actually about to leave the house this morning and I don't want to leave them out until like lunchtime. I think it would probably be a little too harsh for them. We'll do this for a couple more days and then it's gonna be time to plant the tomatoes out. And they are ready. Like, this is not great. They're super leggy. These 2.5-inch pots, people ask me, are those big enough to grow them till transplant? Yes, they are, but I think a 6-week transplant. These have been started for 8 weeks and it's probably a little much. They're really struggling for light. They're really tall. They're like 20-something inches tall. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna plant them deep so they'll be okay, but it's definitely time to get them in. And I think this week the weather's finally gonna cooperate for us to do that. Everything's watered and so beautiful. Just a couple more days and this will all be out in the garden. Started plugging some things into my Greenstock. Here's, of course, my leaf is looking great. I'll probably get both these green ones fully planted this week. It's crazy that we were freezing just a handful of days ago and now our high for the next few days is 80. And I just am like, okay, well, let's do this thing. Let's do this garden thing. I've been doing lots of weeding, getting everything reset in preparation for putting it all in. I was just wanting to make sure it was going to stay warm. I gave a quick shot of this flower the other day and I didn't tell what it was. This is clematis, a really pretty flowering vine. Well guys, this is a short vlog. I actually had to leave the house this morning, as I said, but I did want to be able to put up something for you, and I also wanted to remind you to mark your calendars. Tuesday the 27th at 7 Central Time, we will be premiering the video that answers all your questions about what's next for us, like our next big step. We've been kind of hinting towards it. We've been talking about it. We've been telling you guys that it's coming, but we haven't really given much information yet. And you're gonna get a lot of information on Tuesday night. So make sure you plan on being with us for that premiere, 7 Central Time. I'm gonna try to get that uploaded here pretty soon so that you'll be able to set the reminder through YouTube, and it'll show where it's scheduled. I definitely cried making the video. It's done now, and I'm definitely excited for you guys to know, so we can just start speaking freely about the next steps, what it looks like this summer for the garden. Also, this is just a great week. This is a week of milestones for us. It's mine and Jeremiah's 10-year anniversary tomorrow. And then the next day, the 27th, when we're premiering the video, is the 7-year anniversary of us actually being at this property, in this house. We moved in 7 years ago this coming Tuesday. And it felt very fitting to kind of celebrate where we're launching from this place. 7 is really kind of a number of completion, and it feels very much like we're getting to that point. And it's all so precious to me. And we're gonna plant the garden this week, you know, the fullness of it, and get all the frost tender stuff in and get ready to jump into our last season of harvesting here at this farm. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. God bless you. Until next time.